Oh boy. Ladies and gents, welcome to Dungeon Discourse, the show about the show, where I unmute my... Wow. Really, Discord? Are you kidding me, Discord? You fucking... Hello?
Did you fucking unmute?
Yeah, and Discord deadass booted me out. Feels good, man. I was about to go my whole spiel or like, hey, the show where I just unmute and see if my guests are ready, and then Discord is just like, nah, fam.
Discord cucked you.
Literally.
Single lingual cuck.
Heard's words. Welcome to Dungeon Discourse, guys. We're the show about the show, where we go in depth every week on the previous episode of Dungeon Select. Have two guest players, or have two guests on, typically the main cast, but if we have guests, then you know, Yai, Dab, all that good stuff. We're gonna just talk about D&D, talk about the behind the scenes of last episode, talk about some character development that has occurred, talk about some stuff that I've been working on world-wise, maybe some teases for the future, and all that good stuff. Look at that Peepo Happy, chat. Isn't that a fucking cutie? Look at that emote. Peepo Happy, guys. Peepo Happy. Mr. Worldwide. What's up, Kamikaze? Peepo Sip. I added a fuckload of Peepos, dude. It's great.
I don't know what it is about sip emotes, but they trigger me beyond. Do you know the way you feel about clumsy emotes?
Yeah. You feel like
sip emotes make me feel like that. Sassy. When Sassy turns up, ask her about the one dude that keeps doing the sip thing. It triggers me.
That's hilarious. Man, guys, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Hanzo, we had you last week, and we're gonna have you again because you know, stuff occurred. You know,
you're gonna have me again, thank you.
I mean, I would have, if I had to choose, you know, to have someone again from the Dungeon Select crew, it has to be you, Hanzo, because man. Good evening, Kamikaze. How you doing, man? Soko, Duke, what's up, guys? Welcome on in. Yeah, how are you guys doing? You guys doing okay?
Yeah, happy to not be working today.
Gypsy,
watching Rough and Rowdy.
Yeah. Man, because Gypsy, you were a little like, I feel like you needed a breather after Sunday, because you were a little perturbed. I feel like
the fact that I had, what was it, 4 separate people message me on Discord like midstream, like, hey, are you okay? You saw in Dungeon Select chat, and I'm sure I can put them on image of some other people. One of my friends sent me some like stills, some screenshots of Dungeon Select where I look so angry,
devastated. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you were pissed, bro. You were pissed.
I was real pissed.
You were proper mad.
It wasn't even that I was unhappy, like, it was so unusual. Also, Duke just sent me an animated sip emote in Discord, and
nice.
I think we should ban him.
So yeah, for those that aren't caught up with the show, last Sunday, the group had to escape the fortress known as Raskil's Blessing, located in the Underdark, deep underneath the copper mines in Drekmir, and about like a quarter of the way out, they realized, wait, there's a group of people that we promised to help out to escape that place, and we're kind of fucking them over. That led to some heavy discussions among the group, like, okay, how are we gonna do this? Are we really gonna go back? Who's gonna go back? Yeah. You got some help from Illithid that you befriended, which is a very interesting occurrence. And eventually, mainly Aberan just struggled with just decisions and just everything, really. Eventually, the group made it out, and a few of the group of NPCs, of the group of prisoners from the fortress, have escaped thanks to a heads up that they got from Tremaris, and then help climbing up thanks to Aberan. Last episode had a lot of party splitting, and I'm not sure how I feel about that, because that's not typically a good thing, but it worked out. And
there must have been something in the air, because Saturday and Sunday, what was it? Saturday we managed to split 6 people, including
Yeah,
one NPC,
but
into
that
5
was
groups.
no, yeah, but that was different. That was in a city you were going shopping. This is we're split up behind enemy lines. Let's go on our own, fucking off on our own.
I mean, I'm sure
Underground
both
with a
Bran
creature
and
with ability
Tremaris
to
had
us.
their reasons.
Yeah, and we're gonna get into like the reasoning behind that in a second. Eventually, the party reconvened when they were safe and traveled their way to Kalzir, the capital of the Expanse, to find out where Uleth resides, to hopefully finish him off. You know, tick that guy off the list. Let's try to chop it up in, you know, some bite-sized portions, because a lot of shit happened. I have Hanzo here because Tremaris may or may not have told a god to go fuck himself. That was interesting. And Aberan went through a lot of just inner, like, I feel like a lot of inner struggle, just in Aberan's heart and soul. Like, man, I know this is the right thing to do, but is it the smart thing to do? And maybe sometimes those two don't align. And it was for me as a DM, it was interesting because, full disclosure, when you guys made your exit and like made it out of the fortress and were at like that Duragar settlement that's got destroyed, I was like, they've forgotten about those prisoners. They have to have, right? Like, they have to have forgotten about them. And then suddenly, I think it was Nicole was like, wait.
Yeah. That was really interesting. Because so after we were all talking about what happened and sort of a little bit of like the reasoning behind certain character things, and Koiba turns around to me and goes, yeah, well, you know, Nicole thought to mention it to Bran, seeing as up until this point he's been the most level-headed and reasonable one, and he figured that Bran would be like, you know, unreasonable to go back, it'll be fine. And then nope.
But to be fair, like, objectively, it was pretty unreasonable to go back. Is Gypsy lagging for you too, Hanzo? Because Gypsy's cam keeps freezing for me like every 2 seconds.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, that's...
I'm not seeing it in my Discord, but I'm seeing it in stream.
Yeah. Anyway, it's man, a lot of shit happened, dude, and I think I've read, like, now that you have a proper backstory, it's easier for you to like know what your character would, because you struggled a lot with Aberan when it comes to like creating a backstory. How do I make him fun, interesting, and what drives Aberan? You know, what are his fears? What is his goal? What are his ideals? And now that you have those filled in, it's a lot easier to play him, I feel like. If I'm talking to my ass, feel free to interrupt me.
I think with Bran, after maybe 2 or 3 episodes, I had a very good idea of the character I wanted him to be. But a lot of it was like, how do I put that into a way where that makes sense? So like, there are certain actions that I took, even like 2nd or 3rd episode with the party, that you at the time were like, that's really out of character. And now that I've put it into words, it makes a lot more sense. And I always had that idea in my head. It was just a matter of finding the way to put that into words that made sense for me and then for you as a DM.
Yeah, because when you joined in at the moment when Sir Duke was like, "Hey, I'm dipping, fam." So, and then we were supposed to have you as a guest appearance, but then, you know, you kind of got out of your old D&D group and you had time, and I was like, yeah, like we're gonna lose a main cast member soon, so we might as well, you know, it makes sense, you know, our timelines, like everything really synced up really well. Nah, that's not true. I like to give you shit, but that's just because I mean,
that's
you know,
how we express our love.
Yeah, exactly. And by that time, you and Nicole were like the only ones where I wasn't really sure, like, what the fuck. Like, I know what drives, like, I knew very early on what drove Kassirin, because it was like 25 pages worth of things that drove Kassirin that got turned into me.
It's not what drives Kassirin, it's which one is driving Kassirin today.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, back then, like, Naronk was just as new as Aberan was in that, for that fucking matter. But like Tremaris had very early on was like, okay, like what you guys know now is like, hey, he's looking for pieces of map that will eventually probably lead somewhere, maybe, I don't know. Like that's kind of his thing. And now that he's gone through, you know, the whole warlock thing, and he's interacting with some other fuck off deity that he kind of embraced in a time of weakness, and now that he's like, wait, this might not be the right thing, abort, told him to go fuck himself. That's gonna be an interesting one. Because once you sign a deal with the devil, there's no turning back.
Player concept.
But yeah, that's gonna be fun though. The fact that Tremaris is like actively like, is this really the right thing to do now that I think about it?
That's the thing, is Tremaris out of everyone had like one of the simplest backstories. But he has had like so much like character development.
Yeah, your character, out of all the people in the group, your character has gone through the most shit just since starting, you know, like just that point where Ash died and no one was there to witness it besides you, that really shaped the story of Tremaris since then, and definitely like until now, and it's continuing to shape it still. Like Tremaris went to a dark place after that happened, and then he signed that deal with the devil. You know, he went warlock, found a patron that offered him help, and accepted that. And now that you have accepted that, could you explain to me the reasoning behind why is Tremaris now having second thoughts about this, like this deal with this otherworldly patron?
So there's a few things. One is that it's had a bit of closure. Because obviously, like, after the fight, they didn't have Ash's body, you know, he couldn't say a goodbye to him or anything like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He got thrown in a prison cell and, like, you know, just had to deal with it. He had no, like, closure, and he's sort of got that now. You know, he got to lay Ash to rest. He got to, you know, like, free him from, you know, whatever was controlling him. He's had closure. And then another factor is that he found a book that happens to be about, like, the person who's given him his new powers.
Yeah, like among other ones. Like, it's not the only one that's there. But that was the only one that you were able to read because, you know, you're connected to that one. So any otherworldly patrons, like, pretty much.
But it's the fact he found a book about it in, like, the villain's hideout. Like, you know what I mean? That can't be a good sign. Like,
that's fair.
You know, connect the dots there.
That's fair. Yeah. But like the way I designed that book was all the warlock patrons are in there, but because you have a connection with that one,
I can read that one.
Patron. That's the one that you can read, and the other ones just keep blurring up for you because you have no connection to them. It's one of the magical effects that surrounds that book is. You can only read the one that is about you, in a way. And like the one that I designed for you, it's not one from the books. It's definitely like a homebrew one that I'm kind of fucking around with, and I'm having a lot of fun doing that. Is that, yeah, he's given you an assignment, pretty much. That's the thing. You were when we. Trash, thanks for the host, by the way, buddy. Appreciate you. Like, we muted for stream, which was kind of a shame, because no one in chat was able to hear that.
In future, I agree with this suggestion of Laura taking off headset.
Yeah, so the chat can still hear. But TLDR was, Tremaris had another vision after reading the book. He got visited by his deity, or his patron, and his patron, like, showed himself a little bit. Like, he showed his head, like his massive, towering head, which was immensely sized. He showed his face to Tremaris, and Tremaris was like, "Hey man," like not in these words, but "Hey man, I don't know if I can trust. Like you're not in control of me. I'm in control of you." That's pretty much what Tremaris says. Like, "Hey, listen."
Yeah, I literally said, "Listen to me. You're not using me.
Yeah,
I'm using
exactly.
You."
And then Soko, thanks for the host. And then the guy was like, "Listen, I'm gonna give you some new powers, or I'm gonna give you some new powers, but I need you to fetch this item for me. And with this item, we can do great things because my powers will be limited because I'm closed off beyond this veil." He basically revealed that he's been searching for a champion, and he found you in your like dark time and was like, "Hey, this might be the one." and he's given you powers, and your staff. Like I gave you the staff's new like stats after it all happened, like a couple days ago, and the staff changed again. The crystal ball is now a bright green. There's purple smoke kind of like emanating from it. Several new runes inlaid in the staff itself. He's given you a mission like, hey, fetch this item for me, and we'll do great things together. Because then I will be able to cross over into your realm. That's pretty much the idea behind it.
And that's why Tramaris ended up saying, you know, you're not using me, I'm using you. Was because the god was like, yo, go do this for me. And I was like, no, how about you give me more power and go fuck yourself.
And then he gave you power. He gave you a little more power. He upgraded your staff in a way as a token of like, hey, listen, I'll give you this and more, but do this for me. So we'll see how that goes whenever you like, because whether you end up fetching this object or not, there's gonna be some great fucking plot development there as when it comes to your otherworldly patron and you. What's up?
Tramaris told a god to go fuck themselves, and the god went, you know what, now that you mention it, and fucking, like, you, wow, holy shit. I feel that I missed out.
Yeah, man. But yeah, like, so there's, whatever decision Tramaris makes from here on out, it's gonna be very interesting. Because I have a slight suspicion that his patron won't be as patient with him anymore, especially after that interaction that went down.
I mean, I really like the way Tramaris is, and I think it's the way I like a lot of my characters. Even the characters that, like... So, Brand's backstory was a little rushed, because he was meant to be a guest character. But even, like, characters that, like, I have time with, I like to give them a fairly loose backstory in terms of personality, because my favorite part about D&D characters is that development or that progression. And as much as some of the characters we have with like really long backstories are great, like they know who their character is, they know what their character would do. Yeah, I find characters like Tramaris really interesting. We like literally what happens will affect what they do, like next week, the week after, stuff like that. Let the character grow on the fly rather than having it already set in stone.
And I think I speak for everyone when I say that you, Hanzo, have been doing a fucking great job with role-playing Tramaris, and the moments that you really get to the forefront of it all, you fucking kick ass, dude. It's great.
Also, Orc Tramaris. Shout out.
Yeah, Orc Tramaris. That was one of the highlights, man. That was one of the highlights of last week. Was when you disguised yourself as an orc or as a half orc. That was great, dude. Loved it.
But yeah, it's what I like to do as well. It's like when I make characters, I like to give them simple backstories, but with a hook. You know what I mean? And just like leave it up to the DM. Like give the DM plenty of room to work with it, you know, and do whatever they want with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like with Tramaris, it's got a super simple backstory, but then the hook is that it has this piece of a map. And I didn't write down what the map was of. You know, I just left it totally up to Dutch. I'm like, Dutch, you know, here, you've got something to work with. Have fun. Yeah. You know?
But then do you think that because we are all DMs, because, like, Dutch, you did the same with your character for my campaign. You came to his backstory and you're like, you know what, I want to put a bigger hook in here.
Yeah, because I realized that the things that I've written was really hard for the DM to, like, grab a point from and be like, okay, we can...
Which is...
and because I am a DM, I can move myself in that place. So I'm like, okay, this is not a backstory that I would be able to work with easily, so I'm going to open it up a little bit to Gypsy. So I added some changes to that, where now you have something that you can pull from and be like, hey...
Which, you know, you could write a 40,000 backstory, but if it is perfectly tight and self-contained and
like, I like my backstory for my character to be enough for the DM to kind of pick some things up from my past and confront me with those, you know, during the campaign. But it's definitely I'm definitely more a fan of have what happens to me during the campaign shape me and as a character. Yeah.
On the subject of Orc Tramaris, it's actually a little Easter egg I've been doing right from the get-go, which is that with my disguised self that I can do as a Furbolg, every time I disguise myself as someone like else, If I ever have to speak in character, I speak in a different voice. Like, there was one when Duke was still in it where I turned into Duke's character and tried mimic Duke's voice.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if anyone actually noticed it, but I've been like doing that the whole way through. Is whenever I disguise myself, I always do like a different.
That's great though. That's pretty great. Yeah. Maybe I like Loki wouldn't notice it, but now that you mention it, like
Ultra Mouse was very blatant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Notice that one.
But then I also think that that's very grounded in realism, in that if you are so basically everyone speaks common, right? But if you're an orc and you speak Orcish first, Herdswort, and Common second, the way that you pronounce certain things are going to be more
because Orcish is your main language,
and also even just like how your body changes will affect how your voice sounds. If you suddenly become like 4 foot, you're not going to have like this deep voice like this. You know what I mean?
No, but then again, like. It is a thing though with this guy's self. It doesn't alter your voice. So realistically, the spell alters your body, but it's an illusion. So like your body doesn't actually change.
Yes.
So your voice doesn't change. Therefore,
if you're going to be believable to other people in the world,
so you're gonna have to. So you're gonna have to put up a little bit of a voice. Exactly.
Yeah,
but
it
that's
doesn't
the thing
change
where
your natural
I've had a
voice,
conversation with Soko and Laura about this. Was like, I told them like, the Hat of Disguise makes you look different, but doesn't make you sound different. Which is why Matrim recognized Kassirin even when she was disguised, because the voice. Even though she was disguised as, I think she was disguised as Red Tiefling, if I remember correctly.
That's the thing.
But because she didn't put up a different voice, Matrim recognized her. And also, in combination with, that's why I made him roll a perception check, like, hey. Because she's using the same voice, and then I rolled in that 20 for him. So yeah, like, hey, boom, bada bing, bada boom, the gist is up. But like, if your voice doesn't change, so if you're gonna disguise as someone, changing your voice yourself is a must be, because like Hanzo says, you're gonna be a 4 foot dwarf, but sound like a fucking female tiefling.
And also a change in mannerisms helps a long way as well, because like with Ultramouse is normally super sort of quiet and reserved, and then Ultramouse is like, well, it's a fucking different rock, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like,
it was really good. I enjoyed that a lot.
Disguise to be effective, you have to change.
Yeah, definitely. It's more than just. It's more than just
looks. You have
looks.
to play into it.
Yeah.
I agree.
If you're disguising yourself as an orc, and you're normally a noble character, and you walk over to them and start.
Excuse me, good sir.
Yeah, exactly.
They're gonna be like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah, exactly.
Hello there, good chat. What?
Fun little details that you have missed, and you're not gonna go back for. Is
$1 million gold in a pot.
No, the Duragar town. There was like a town sign flipped over on the floor, but no one really looked around. Duragar settlement was called Grackleston. No, for those that want to know. And Uleth has ordered to just exterminate that entire town because it was too close to his like little secret.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
If you don't mind.
I don't at all, because that's what the show's for.
I threw away a glowing stone.
Oh.
What did I throw away?
Oh god.
Something very valuable. Fuck. You threw away essentially a get out of jail free card. Let me look it up real quick. It is
Don't make me go back again.
I mean, it's too late now.
Also in character with
I know, I'm memeing. I've never been.
The crystal serves as an instant. The crystal serves as an instant teleport to a location the party has visited before. Arcana check would have revealed that it's definitely enchanted with some sort of spell. There were some runes carved into the crystal. Identify would have revealed this to be a portal crystal. When saying the code word Maril and the location they want to teleport to, a portal will appear. This has a 20% chance of failing, and the crystal can be used once and will recharge after a long rest when rolling a 6 on a d6.
Nadia makes a good point. I did use it as a get out of jail free card.
Yeah, but you did really just throw away something that could a teleportation.
I knew it was good. But the thing is, I didn't know how it was gonna because what I thought you might do is have the orc go, oh, come on, we'll have a look. So I needed something actually there to show him. Yeah. But he just went, I'll go check. If I knew he was just going to fuck off and check on his own, I didn't actually need to put out
They're half-orcs, mate. They're not typically not that bright. They're like, oh, I'll check. Yeah, sure, whatever, dude.
They're barbarians, and look at us breaking boundaries.
But, you know what I mean? Like, I had to do, like, just in case he needed...
It made sense. It made sense. But yeah, if you would have like identified it or had someone look at it, they would have been like, yeah, this can teleport you places, only places that you've been to before. And it's like one of those things where every start of a day you roll a d6, and if you roll a 6, then it recharges its thing. And it's every time you cast a spell with it, it has a 20% chance of failing. So it's not like a thing that would guarantee succeed, but it's definitely something that would have been helpful.
You're assuming that Tremaris and Bran wouldn't have used it to teleport down into the elevator shaft.
Yeah, you could have easily, like, a place that you have been before. So as long as you can visualize and name the location, because it needs a name. You need to say Mariel Kalzir, for example, and you have to have been there before. So if you would have been Mariel Raskil's Blessing, you would have bamfed to the front gate of Raskil's Blessing.
If you say Kalzir,
yes.
Does that put you anywhere in Kalzir, or where you visualize
it will put you near an entrance to the city, so one of the city gates at random.
So it doesn't matter where you visualize in the city.
No, as long as you have been to the place you want to go to before, it just puts you at like what would be considered an entrance, a normal entrance.
How specific could you get with that? Could you be like,
as long as a place has a name?
Bathroom.
The second table.
No, as long as it needs to be like a named place. So bathroom of this and this place wouldn't work. Just that place would work.
This and this place.
You could have gone like Mariel Kalzir Keep. You would have bamfed to the keep within Kalzir.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, dropping the elevator lever didn't really end up mattering anyway, because the ones that didn't died before they got to the elevator anyway. So.
Yeah, and then
true. But what if they'd like not made that climb and we were like, shit?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I thought that when we went that way, I thought that was a really fucking great idea. I was like, hey, fucking the bad guys can't get away. We'll come this way back. I can fix it. Bada bing, bada bum. And then it's like, holy shit! It's not just that we left people.
I like how
people that couldn't escape.
I like how me and Bran kept pulling each other down the sort of good path. Like at first it was Tremaris like, we have to go back, and Bran's like, I'll go with him. And then when we get into town, I'm like, all right, we're done. And you're like, nope, we need to go back. And I'm like, okay. Like we both just kept pulling each other in sort of the good direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like being good influences on each other.
To answer Soka's question, it would have created a portal, so as many people as can physically go through a portal in 6 seconds.
I've told this story before, but my favorite magic item I've ever had in like a campaign is it's a door handle, like a door knocker. Yeah. And basically, if you ever put it on a wall, it just creates a door.
That's dope.
And one of my favorite moments, we had a player who were in this army's like tent, and like we're in this army camp, and they were like, you know, like thinking we were like prisoners or something, so they took us to the like commander's tent to talk to him. And one of our players went up and just had a huge like rant at him, rolled an intimidation check, rolled a sort of natural 20, and did like a big mic drop moment, and then just turned, walked to the side of the tent, opened the door in it, and walked out. It was fucking glorious.
That's hilarious. But that's the fun thing, though. Like, magical items. Like, that was a really powerful magical items. Because that was basically what I did. Was like, I'm going to offer you the possibility of several ways out. Like, if you would have found a crystal, you would have been like, hey, I could identify this. Or I just had done, like, a proper, like, check to see, like, what do I sense from this? Or detect magic or whatever. That would have given you, like, a hint. Or maybe even the complete description of what it is. There was that illusion behind the thing that you guys eventually went through, and then you could have also just gone back the way you came. You know, that was also a very valid option.
Yeah, if you want to die.
No, like I would have made it fair, but that was like I had that written down. Like, yeah, they can go back the way they came. They would have had a lot of resistance, but they could have done it. What? Why did Gypsy just leave? Well, now we have a very big Hanzo. Oh boy, there we go.
Thanks, Discord.
Nice mute, Edort.
At least it's not just me that's happened to today.
Yeah, true.
It hasn't happened to me yet. It used to be my
I
thing.
wanted to go back to the statue, but shit happens.
Yeah, I prepared some answers for everybody because people like message me like, "Hey, I would probably ask this or that, this." That.
Yeah, because everyone was like, "Nah, we need to leave. We got answers. Fuck the rest of you."
I sort of already asked like everything I wanted to, so I didn't really care much for going back.
Yeah, you asked where like one of the next map pieces was, right? And she was like,
yes, and I got an answer, but I didn't write it down. But I can always just go watch the VOD.
Check the VOD, yeah. I believe.
Yeah, I always have to watch the VODs.
Fuck, what did she say? Hang on, maybe I've written it down. I have. In a goblin-inhabited cave in Thurmagar. That's what.
All I knew was it wasn't Calzea, and that was clearly where we were going to head next. So I was like, never mind. We'll get to it eventually.
I mean, you could have called Cassera and that her daughter was in a goblin-infested.
Gone full scumbag.
I mean, your alignment is now chaotic, right? So.
Yeah, it's looking out for numero uno.
I mean, it's chaotic good though, not chaotic neutral. So I could still
like my T-shirt says, chaotic good, doing the right thing, even if it means killing everyone in the process.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's doing the right thing, in your opinion. I mean, morality is subjective.
Yeah, true.
If you're raised in something like an orcish horde...
Well, yes, but Tramaris knows that lying to someone about the location of their kid is not a good thing.
True,
that's not
but what
good.
if you were doing it to keep them alive and you fully believed that they would die if you sent them?
Then
that's where it
be a
becomes a
different
grey
matter.
area.
Yeah.
Nadies raises a really good point in chat. Naronk forgot to ask where the fuck this goblin is.
Oh my god.
I'm surprised Nicole didn't, to be honest.
Nicole
didn't ask about his banner.
No, he didn't ask shit.
Nicole could have asked about his banner.
Man.
We could have asked if
Soko,
Matchroom
how
was
on a
gonna
scale
take
of
us
1 to
over.
10, how mad are you? That you forgot about that. Because I am a little bit. Yeah,
I guess we're going back for a third time.
That is one of my favourite ongoing jokes, is just every time we come across a goblin. Like, is it the goblin?
Is it him?
The fact that he checks in the other campaign as well.
Yeah.
He rolled and he got like a fucking 18. No, it's like, you know what, you rolled so well that you see a goblin that doesn't even exist in this continent, and somehow you know that that's, and then you realize that you're fucking dumb and you can stop asking.
Yeah, speaking of, might as well, because, you know, Thurmagar is going to be a pretty important province, and I'm sure that at some point in the campaign, we're going to go there, because it's where 2 of the party members are from. It's where one of the party members has significant backstory things going on, and now we have another hint that's like, hey, Tramaris' map might be there, or like a piece of Tramaris' map is there, and yeah, yeet. So I created last night, like super late last night.
By 6 AM was when you went to bed by my time, so
I created a map of that province just to be ready in case you know, y'all want to go there soon.
And then you did Flatlands as well.
Yeah, that was today, so I'm gonna just quickly, oh fuck me,
Look at Dutch, how top tier of a DM he is, making us province. I have 1 province map.
Boom.
For the
I made a
province
little map. I hope that's big enough on stream, guys. Just to kind of need to fit it there. Of that province, so that whenever we do go there, I'm prepared and don't have to fucking improvise the shit out of everything when it comes to location names and stuff. So yeah. And then earlier today, I might as well add that to the fucking thing as well, huh?
on the other side.
Yeah. Flatlands. And then today, but there's 6 provinces total. I know my own world, guys.
We have 3 mapped now.
4.
4.
Yeah, Flatlands, Thurmagar, the Expanse, and then Segalia, because that's where my other campaign plays out. So 4 out of the 6 have maps now. Fuck. 2D mode. There we go. Boom. So we have, these are 2 maps I created. We have to the right of me on stream, I think. Wait, yes. Is the Flatlands. which is pretty much the most northeastern province of Kaldalar. And then we have Thurmagar, which is the northwestern province of Kaldalar, and they border each other with a bunch of mountains in between. Below them lies Segalia and the huge province that is the Burning Scar. And then below that, there we have the Expanse, and then the most southeastern province is the Valen Forest, which is the smallest province of them all. Fun fact. And yeah, I created these two maps because I think now, for every party member we have, all their origin, like places of origin, backstory places, are now all mapped out. Because I don't think anyone has business in the Valen Forest, and the only business you would have in the Burning Scar is because it's just a big deal world-wise. And I think Tremaris has had some information regarding something in the Burning Scar. Regarding his map.
Visit. I wonder if we'll ever go visit Tremaris' home.
I mean,
maybe, man, maybe.
The original artifacts of the Sundering were found in the Burning Sky, right? Yeah,
that's why they got created, because they got created from pretty mundane materials that got infused with just this power, this magical power from wherever the fuck these meteors came from. So yeah,
just get fucked magic.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's what I've been up to yesterday/today, just making maps, guys. Yeah. So I'm excited. It's just really cool to see, like, slowly this thing that I have in my head, to see it on paper and be like, hey, this makes sense. Like, when I'm done with all 6 of the maps, so I need to do 2 more. I want to see if I can convince Gypsy to uphold his deal with me to make like a proper world map.
I would more than happily love to.
Yeah, but you're busy, I know. It's all good. But yeah, like definitely something.
I have a bunch of time off next week.
I was gonna say I once got like super into like map making, like actually using Photoshop to do it and stuff.
Yeah, it's just fun to see this imaginary world that lives in my head, to actually see it on paper and be like, hey, that's pretty cool.
I finished our city map of Respite.
Nice, dude. So I can buy a map now, Smile?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. A lot of things that I prepared for kind of got derailed and are now moved to next episode because there were a lot of things that I didn't prepare for.
You mean us two?
Meaning you two, yeah, actually, you two. You guys, like the 2 of you, derailed the episode so much. It's actually insane. 2 hours. 2 hours of content that I had not prepared for. 2 hours of just straight up Abran and Tremaris versus the world.
I mean, it would have been everyone else, but they all fucked off, so I'm not sure how Bran feels about
that. Man, because there's bro, let me tell, like, the thing is, like, we don't have Dungeon Select this weekend, right? We will do a stream Dungeon Select related on my channel this Sunday. We're gonna do some cool character creating thing.
It's the biggest blue balls.
But yeah, we won't have like a proper Dungeon Select this week because Laura can't make it. So there's a week break, and like I have so much cool, awesome, lit stuff prepared, and I'm like, wow, we could have done it already, but no.
I'm sorry,
hey, we had to.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same as like Ash getting killed. If I hadn't done it, I would have felt that I hadn't been treated.
Yeah, but I
think a lot of the turmoil wasn't the initial turmoil before going to do it, before like Bran really had time to think about it.
Yeah,
wasn't Bran. It was me. Like, holy shit, I don't want to do this. Like, this could be goodbye. But if I don't, I'm gonna forever regret it. Because it's not true to character.
I'm just there going, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm going.
But to be fair, like it made, like, after you guys said it, I was like, yeah. Like, it didn't strike me as a thing that your characters wouldn't do. It was just something that I would, in a million years, would never. Like, I just completely was convinced that you guys forgot about those guys in the prison. You're gonna escape, and a few weeks down the line, you'll be like, wait.
The best bit is though is like it's even in character for Tremaris to have forgotten them because he had a lot more on his mind at that moment than.
Yeah, but I was just like, yeah, they're gonna forget about them. Like, there's no way they're gonna remember because they got so much shit going on. And then Nakul was like, "Oh, wait a minute."
I re-killed Trimaris' best friend, and then we teamed up to go save some people.
Yeah, y'all really. Do you think that Trimaris and Abran kind of bonded through this whole experience?
I think this is the first time Trimaris and Bran have really done anything together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Trimaris has always been very quiet, and Bran's always been very drawn to Nicole and Actanis. And then that all went tits up because Nicole.
The main person Trimaris gets along with is Kissarin.
Yeah.
And that's not been the case since, like, say, episode 1. It just sort of matter.
They had chemistry, you know?
I think Bran definitely respects Kissarin, and he respects her opinion and her decisions. But I also don't see him having enough in common with her to be like, hey, do you want to go for drinks?
We'll get to that point, you know? We'll get there.
Like I say, is the thing about Bran and Trimaris this episode was they were both just, like, say, a positive force on each other. Like, they were both pulling each other in a good direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I sort of didn't expect you to come to the mine with me.
I kind of did.
It makes sense.
After you were like, I'll come with you to send this message, I was like, yeah, he's gonna come with him. There's no way. Because it was kind of one of those like, hey, you help me with this, so I'll help you with that type of things, you know? Where like, plus it was both. You had similar ideals. Both of your ideal was we gotta make sure that these people are all right, you know? Like that's why Trimaris wanted to go back and send that message, to give him sort of a chance, and then you were like, let's give him more than just a chance. Let's see if we can actually get them out. So like you were working towards the same goal there.
If someone in the party that wasn't Bran had done the elevator thing, he would have been happy to just send them the message and be like, yo, like, we did what we could.
I think it's Kissarin, Natty. I'm pretty sure it's Kissarin.
Meant to be Kissarin, like Kissarin.
Yeah,
But
like with
but then it's Ganassi or Genassi.
emphasis on the sir, on the se. Like that's really like Kissarin. I'm pretty sure.
Is it Padil or Peldil?
I'm pretty sure it's meant to be Genassi, just because it's based off of Genie. Not
Jins.
not Genie.
Yeah, but then
you know
again,
what I mean?
Jin is written DJ, right? And
well, no, that's Jin, but you know,
Yeah.
like,
Genie.
they're also based off.
yeah,
of
genies.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
G-E-E
No,
and
I say
I think
Ganassi. It rolls
realistically,
off the tongue nice, you know. Fuck it.
So both are acceptable. Both have been described as acceptable. I think it's really down to the tribe of Ganassi, how they pronounce it, and then so like it'd be interesting to see both pronunciations in World, but
Yeah, I
The real
suppose.
question is, how do you pronounce orc?
That's
Orica.
true. That's the one, dude. So you eventually, you know, came together, managed to save, 3 out of the 6 that you met down there in prison. That's alright. That's 50%, right? Especially given that one of them missing a leg and was no way gonna make it out anyway. So he kind of just threw.
not unless we'd carried him.
The way I envisioned it was just like he threw himself at the first like pack of skeletons that he saw to
because
get
he
the
knew that.
because
made
he already said when you guys found him on that table, it was like I'll be the sacrifice here because I'm not gonna make it out anyway. So like he was ready to like kind of do that and buy the other
Which
some
Bran
time.
respects like hell of a lot.
Yeah, he was like, I'm not gonna make it out of here. I'll give the others some more time, which he did. And the other 2, I rolled for them, and I was like,
They didn't make it.
out of all these people, the 2 half elves had already mentioned they have some combat experience. So I rolled for 3 of them to survive, and I was like, yeah, makes sense the half elves would survive because they are the ones that are experienced fighters. And the drow, I figured, because drows are naturally pretty stealthily, pretty they can kind of.
They also have like natural like magic.
Yeah, exactly.
They're also naturally distrustworthy and probably sacrifice the other 2. Smile.
So I figured I'd just let the 2 humans die. Really, that was right. I guess the 2 humans die.
Speaking of race,
Yes.
been a factor. Question.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I've noticed playing obviously a Furbolg, which are a very sort of standout, not common race.
Mhm.
is that it's never really been, you know, a thing. Like nobody's ever like commented on it about. And I was wondering, is that because they're not as uncommon as they usually are in this world, or is it just because it's too sort of hard to always DM people been like shocked at it?
It's the reason I do that is because
I totally respect that. Like
the reason I do that is because even though you are a very kind-hearted creature, you're a big fuck-off broad guy. You know, no one is really gonna just walk up to you and give you shit about your race when you look like you could eat them. You know?
I mean, we are a motley crew as well. It's not like if it was a party of 5 humans.
Plus, most cities you've been in have been pretty diverse. You know, like most places you've been in, like
this one
have been pretty diverse. The only city that's really like racist against anyone is the city you're in right now.
Against everyone.
And they've been racist against everyone that wasn't orcish or goblin. So yeah, there has not really been a place where furbolgs are not accepted.
But like I say, I totally get like the struggle of trying to DM something like that. It's like I had a player who they were playing druid and they could like talk in their animal form and they'd just stay in that like cat form all the time talking.
Oh god.
And they'd just constantly be going to me like, does the NPC react to me talking as cat? It's like, I'm not gonna DM every single NPC you ever meet reaction to
holy
using
shit,
a talking cat.
Yeah.
Surely, I mean, maybe you should.
It's gonna get old.
The player will
very,
get
very
really bored of it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I know, Soko, but where you were. But hey, man, thanks for making sure that I know where my players are in my campaign. And yeah, yeah,
it's fine.
No.
It's almost like we have a map to keep track of it.
Yeah, no, I know. I said. I said where you are/were, because most of the episode you spent time in Drekmir, which is the first city where there's a form of racism, because it's like you're either orc or goblin or you can fuck yourself. So then again,
please tell me,
there's what's up?
I was gonna say, please tell me, like, could you keep track of where we are? Please tell me that the only hat store in the realm is a traveling hat store that magically is wherever we're not.
Ran by a goblin?
I feel like we're being watched.
Yo, Monkey, thanks for the raid and host, bro. Good to see you. Welcome on in, guys. How you guys doing? You guys have fun. We're talking about D&D and nerd stuff, so if that's something you fucking hate, follow me and come back in a few hours when we'll be playing Apex Legends and playing normal video games. What's up, guys?
This is my excited face.
Yeah, great. I love the like, you're really trying. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, now that you're back in Kalzir is exciting because like I said, I have so much prepared. Do you guys know that you have like a little base lair area where you have Safe Haven, and it's a place that no one in the city knows about except a handful of archmages and the Empress. You also know that Ulath is somewhere in the city, but where? Fuck knows. We know that Gesseren's daughter is somewhere in the city.
I wonder where she could be.
Yeah. Naronk has connections in Kalzir. Aberan has some pull at like the temple, at least in Kalzir.
Me and Laura were talking about that after the session in like DMs, and it was like, Ulef has a household in Kalzir. Your daughter is in a household in Kalzir.
Maybe it's the long con and we're gonna get there and it's gonna be like, nah, get fucked. She's somewhere else. You've got to search this entire noble district.
Actanis doesn't really have connections in the city besides some basic bitch stuff. Gesseren has hella connections in the city. Hella. But that's like half the party has people they know in the city that could help them narrow the search down at least a little bit, you know?
I mean,
yeah, Tremas is the most connected person.
Yeah, definitely.
Anywhere that respects Ryan's little meme, he's gonna have some pull.
Yeah, definitely, but that's mostly military though. Right?
Depends where you are and like but also just the big dick, hey, I'm an Azamar, this is my temple now, give me your shit.
Yeah, but like no, like mainly it's especially when you're in a capital city of a province, it's like not everyone's gonna know what the fuck that means, but mainly military people of like, you know, with military background will know like, hey, that means you have some.
Yeah, I can't just pull it out and be like, yo,
yeah,
give me some free banana. But in context relevant situation.
Yeah, definitely. See, I'm excited to see you guys go on this fucking hunt for this guy and just exhaust all of your like connections and see if you can figure it out. Because I really have. I'm gonna let you take the lead on that one. If you want to go speak to this person to see if they know some more, I have some things written down where I'm like, it would be logical for this person to know something about them. It would be logical for this person to know something about them because of this. But how you guys get to those like dots to connect is up to you. I've given you, they're in the city. That's all I'm gonna give you. That's like, all the rest is gonna have to come from your own like, hey, I know there's this necromancer in the city. What would a necromancer who lives in Kalzir do? Like, who does he visit? What places does he frequent?
Is there any graveyards?
I'm really gonna let you take the lead on this, you know, and be like,
I'm excited.
Investigate, motherfuckers, because I'm not gonna give you shit. And it's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Be like, okay, you guys have this canvas. I've drawn the lines within like in between where you're gonna have to be drawing, but whatever the fuck you draw, that's up to you. Because yeah, I ain't giving you shit. This is your investigation now, motherfuckers. So yeah, all I'm gonna say is just think deep and hard about. You're such a 12-year-old. About
I was giggling as well, but I had my mic muted.
Think deep and hard. What I do every night.
About what would make sense for one with magical abilities to do in a city this big. Like, where would he go? What would he frequent? What would he visit? I'll check for you real quick. I have written down 1, 2, 3 pretty big leads that I think are easy for you to realize, like, oh, that makes sense that those are connected. Some of them logical thoughts, some of them very general, but some of them also because Gesaren has connections in the city. She knows some of the more shadier places where people that people might go that want to grab a drink but not necessarily be recognized or bother talking about what the fuck their business is, for instance. Like, it would make sense for a person of Uleth's like standing to go there instead of the local inn, what's it called, the Hog Belly, and fucking have a mead with the other common folk.
Fire hooker.
Stuff like that, where if you use that big old gray mass you got up there and really just think about it, it makes a lot of sense. Like, it's not super hard. But I'm excited.
Is it an intelligence stunt or a wise stunt?
A bit of both, I think.
Because intelligence is not my forte.
Like, wisdom is like street smarts, right?
Yeah.
So that's really where this whole like, okay, there's a guy that does magic stuff and does shady magic stuff. He probably won't go to, I don't know.
He won't go to the normal place to buy fucking components. He'll have to buy shady components from shady people. For instance, what are the shady people in the town? Huh. Like, that's definitely wisdom related. Like, it's just like common sense. Like, okay, yeah, cool. But intellect wise,
that's the thing. That's why, like,
I think it's gonna be more wisdom than intellect. Yeah.
That's why, like the investigation rolls and stuff are wisdom, because it's putting pieces together and stuff.
Exactly.
Whereas the knowledge checks are intelligence, because it's sort of just reciting information that you have learned.
Exactly. And
like knowledge, like intelligence is sort of how much you know. Wisdom is actually like youthfully applying that, knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe Soko. Maybe once you guys, kill Uleth,
maybe some of you
save the world, Brian will treat you all to ham and cheese sandwiches.
Some of you, not all of you at the moment.
But yeah, like it's. I had a lot of fun with preparing this part of like this investigation to one of my goals was as well is where most chapters or like story arcs, if you will, have been very like, you know, 4 to 5 sessions and it's done with, and I wanted to like extend that a little bit and just have you guys really so this is the first time where I've gotten you really close to the enemy and then pulled them right away from under your noses and fucking flipped it upside down to you. And I think we're currently like 5 sessions deep since Iron Deck's death. 4, maybe. Wait, let me check the YouTube, guys, that we have. !DS.
Let me check the wiki.
The wiki's not up to date when it comes to that shit. Working on it, by the way. It's a lot of work.
If there's anything you want me to do wiki-wise while I'm off work, let me know.
Yeah, episode 16 is the immolation of Iron Deck. So episode 17.
So 5.
Episode 17 was like the day off episode, and really
Beach.
Only like the last 10 minutes was like, hey, I need you guys to come here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, because the latest episode just went live on YouTube 30 minutes ago, by the way, guys. Look at that.
The command again? DS.
Yeah.
I know how to moderate.
So this is the 4th. So we're about to be 5 episodes deep, and like you're nowhere near. Like you know whereabouts Uleth is, but like it's definitely gonna be a longer chapter for the first time, which I'm excited for because I can really, you know, fuck with you a little bit. I'm so glad that I really completely fucked with Koiba, not with just with Nakul, but with Koiba. He was like, I'm gonna get him, and then they turned out not to be real. It gave me so much satisfaction.
Like, you could tell how mad he was and how mad. Not Nicole, but Koiba.
Koiba got mad,
yeah. I need to hit stuff. And then, like, 2 days after it, he's like, I still need to hit stuff. Let's hit Bran.
Also, a reason, one decision I made was like, okay, you guys are going to travel back to Kalzir, you know, with your horses and carriage, which is lit. Let's just kind of Speedy Gonzalez our way through this and not have 2 episodes of filler again. Just kind of like, okay, if there's something you guys want to do on these 3 days of travel, let me know and we can kind of go through them, and then we'll end it when you guys arrive at the city. For not necessarily for our sake, but also for the viewers' sake, because I don't want to give them another 2 episodes of just random travel gunk where nothing really happens. We can try and restart the call, maybe then, or like Gypsy, just disconnect from the call and reconnect.
Yeah. Okay.
I was gonna say I've been having a lot of like what they call like in general, so should I just try restart the whole?
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Boys, hang on. Hello.
Saturday.
It seems.
Hello. I switched regions because EU for some reason on Discord has been so trash these last couple of weeks.
It's been so bad recently.
So I switched to US East and see if that.
We had the same problem when we were doing our one shot.
Yeah. Hopefully this is better, guys.
It seems immediately better for me.
Yeah. It's a lot less choppy. All right. Good job, Discord. Any questions from you guys that you guys may have? Chat, that goes for you as well. Any questions about last episode or just the campaign in general, the world, whatsoever? Speak now or forever hold your peace, or wait till the next episode of Dungeon Discourse.
One thing that I wanted to ask, like as a world building point of thing, which you probably, I don't know if you have or haven't considered it, but it's something that I always liked. Like, what are the provinces known for? Like, is there specific exports?
Oh yeah.
So like, the Flatlands, for example. What would people who've never been to the Flatlands know about the Flatlands?
The Flatlands is
very flat.
Is very militaristic. The Flatlands is the biggest war front of Kaldalar. Gypsy's cam is doing it again, so it didn't fix anything. Lit. The Flatlands is the most militaristic. That's where all the very well received, like, you know, how do you say that? Like military training is done, because that's just that they face war. Most provinces face war every day because of the Burning Scar and orcs trying to pour out of all of the orifices to try and take more land. But the Flatlands is the only province that has big orc cities right across the border, which causes for a lot of turmoil and war. That's what the Flatlands is known for. The Flatlands is definitely known for very upstanding military, and about 90% of people that live there have military experience. It's very militaristic. Their armies are big and strong. Thurmagar, snowy landscape, lots of mountains. Population of the Flatlands is mainly human and halfling, by the way. Fun fact of the day. Thurmagar is where mostly dwarves and dragonborn reside. You know, high up in the mountains, nice and cold, that sort of stuff. A typical snow place. They really live of export or import of stuff from down south. You know, ships that go from all the port cities and just go up north to get supplies into the province, because, you know, crops don't grow very well and stuff like that in a zone that cold. So they really live off of imports. What else is up there? Dragonborn, because it's such a big Dragonborn like place. There's a lot of studies, a lot of temples to the various draconic deities. You know, Bahamut's big up, and the sorts are there. It's also where the final battle back in the First Age took place, in the war against the dragons. The final battle took place in Thurmagar. And that final battle is still commemorated with the giant skeleton of a massive dragon that got slain there, that ended the war. Sagalia is a farming community. Lots of farms, lots of export of crops and all that, both north and south, because it lies under Thurmagar but above the Expanse. So it's like this very bountiful farmland with tons of places to export to, because both the desert and the snowy landscape can't really grow crops that well. So Sagalia is definitely the farm epicenter of the realm. The Expanse really thrives off of how do I say this? It really thrives off of just, yeah, how do I say this? Man, it's I'm trying to put the words together. It's a lot of rich folk live in the Expanse. It's a province where a lot of rich people live, a lot of you know, art pieces, treasure, that sort of stuff.
That's because they take the capitalist approach where you constantly have to expand your business. You fail.
I hate you so much.
And then we have the Valen Forest, which is a province that is predominantly forest. It's like I imagine to be like villages and towns just built completely in treetops and shit. It's fucking lit. They really provide a lot of it's like the province where the most, I wouldn't say mystery is a big word, but it's like the most, what the fuck do they do there, you know, because it's such a weird fuck off place, and it's like completely separated, because
so it's sort of self-sufficient.
Yeah, because to the north of them
and
lies
very wealthy,
to the north of there lies the Burning Scar, to their west lies the Burning Scar, to their south is ocean, to their right is, to their east is ocean. So like they're kind of isolated, and that's really, so they have really big defenses at like the borders, but there's no way to get there, because even with airships, you know, chances are you're gonna just get shot down if you try to cross the Burning Scar. And you can get there by normal ship, but it's just, it takes so long, because you literally have to go all the way, or all the way. So it's very self-sufficient. Not a lot of people tend to go there, because it's just really inconvenient and kind of lies out of the way. I also forgot to say that Thurmagar is where most weapons, armors, and all that sort of stuff is created and shipped over to the entirety of the world, because, you know, a lot of dwarves, a lot of blacksmiths, a lot of armorers.
Thurmagar's sort of like the smelting and crafting.
Definitely.
And then the Expanse is more of like the luxury item. So things like I guess like paintings, jewelry,
art pieces,
fine wines.
Yeah.
Cool.
And the Expanse is also like the place where, you know, the archmages have the base, their home. So that we're all like, all things magical, all things considered magical and weird tend to either go or be from the Expanse.
Pretty magic, that is.
Yeah, because I have written some lore down around the like the Archmage's tower and what created that tower and why did they decide to go there out of all places. But that's not super developed yet, so I'd rather wait with that until that's like properly written down. So yeah, there's like a thing. There's definitely something that kind of sets apart every province a little bit. But yeah, like the thing is with the Burning Scar being created, that kind of, you know, at the top of the second era, that really turned the tides, and the Sundering happening and creating the Burning Scar fucked the world upside down, because everything they knew and the way the world worked together back then is just gone, because there's this big fucking gaping hole in the world now where the most horrible creatures suddenly crawl out the ground. Orcs rose up and got power because of all the chaos, and try to get more and more land to this day. The world is still kind of, we're 755 years later since that happened, and the world is still kind of, you know, they're still dealing with just the Burning Scar as a whole, because it's just fucking orcs on orcs on orcs that try to get more land, bunch of weird creatures crawling out the ground out of the various caves and craters that got left behind by these meteors, these craters putting shit on fire, and fires that have been burning for 700 plus years and have never gone out and just still burn and probably will burn for all of eternity.
It's like the fucking gate to hell in that, like,
yeah, pretty much.
I have a weird question.
Sure.
Before the Cataclysm brought in the Burning Scar,
yes,
was that originally a separate province, or was that where all the other provinces met? So they would have originally expanded into that center.
They would have expanded into that center. There were 5 provinces, and the Burning Scar kind of took chunks of all provinces and made it its own region because of just the fucking Sundering destroying.
So, you know, like 750 years ago, these provinces were all interconnected and presumably trading and working together.
And now that just is that they still try, but it's really difficult because you're gonna have to make new trade routes, because flying over there or going, you know, horse and carriage is just not done. You're not gonna cross the Burning Scar with a caravan of carriages, because you're just gonna get fucked.
Sounds like a challenge.
I've got a question for you.
So
you've said before that like this comic brought a lot of sort of like magic with it. Like it's brought weird creatures out of the ground. It's created new sort of magic items.
It hasn't really created. It has brought a lot of outer, like the way it is rumored that the Sundering was sent in from a different plane of existence. It's like it's outer planar magic that got infused with the magic that was already in this realm. And
see, that's what I was going to ask. I was going to say, was the magic like before it, or did it sort of bring?
There was magic before, yeah, but this interplanar, strange magic kind of combined itself with the magic of this realm to create all these artifacts that that's Naronk has been reading about. And because of the chaos and destruction is when mainly orcs, but also anything fiendish or demonoid like that lived underground, found an opportunity to abuse the chaos and kind of crawl up to the surface and just spread their, you know, terror. It's a lot of evil creatures that already existed that finally found a good time to do their thing, because there's so much chaos going on already. But yeah, like these artifacts of the Sundering that I've talked about before are definitely created because strange magic from a different realm got combined with the magic that was already in this plane, creating these indestructible, very powerful objects that no one really knows how to fucking use or what to do with. And man, I'm so excited for the time that you guys are gonna start like finding those things and stuff, dude. Holy shit, it's gonna be good.
If we're not all dead by then, tomorrow.
I can see what used to be my house. Yes,
Tremaris ain't gonna be dead. He's gonna live and look over everyone else's graves.
Yeah, Tremaris is gonna be fucking old man Tremaris, just sitting on his porch, thinking about all his friends that died many years before.
Koiba, if we'd come back to that statue, you could have asked about the banner. You could have, yeah.
I'm legitimately considering like getting a commission of that done because like I agree with Soko that like the image of it is just so like good. You know what I mean? Like this idea
it is really good. Yeah.
Old man Tremaris looking over the graves with his pet griffin.
With his pet
not
griffin,
high
dude.
on my list.
Yeah. So when it comes to like the past world lore and all that, like I said before, that we're in the third era now, like the third age. And they don't really swap ages unless something super significant happens. So the first age ended when dragons came and attacked from the various other planes and tried to claim this place as their new home, and did for a little while. And that got us into the second age, which is really like the age of dragons and stuff. And eventually those dragons got defeated in that age, and some rests and normal life returned, and then the Sundering happened and completely fucked everything up again, which caused the third age, the age that we currently live in, to start. Whereas like, okay, we're gonna have to adjust to having this big fuck off province now, where nothing really good happens in. So yeah, that's the world that I have in my head and try to convey to my players every week. Man, I mean, I could write books about this shit, bro. Honest to God, I could write books about this shit and just fucking. I have so many ideas floating around, and I try to put them on paper, but it's so much, dude. Holy fuck. Because I wanted to create a world where there was already. Like shit already happened. There is, you know, like it would make sense. It's a world that lives and breathes, right? It's just because your party started existing that day doesn't mean the world hasn't seen shit before that party existed. You know.
I was just say, have you ever been on the? Have you ever been on like the world building subreddit? I'm
scared, bro, because that's gonna give me so many ideas and things, and
they're really good. They have like full on like sort of guides and stuff where people have like done research into like historical like towns and stuff like that and how they all function to help you make, you know, like towns that actually seem like real town. Like it's just, people go so in depth with it.
It's great, dude. It's great. Love it.
Me and you Dutch do the same thing. You want to build a world that's a world, not built around the party.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's not that the scope moves around the party; it's that they're on this map.
And one of the ways that I try to like help that out with is throw a bunch of NPCs and throw a bunch of guest characters your way that eventually leaves you guys behind, but still do shit behind the scenes. You know,
it's the Lord of the Rings approach. You know what I mean? Like he built a whole world, and then Lord of the Rings is just like one story.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I've had you read about, you know, a couple of people that are famous, like that statue in Kalzir about this champion that defended Kalzir against an attack of a dragon and gave her life to save the city, and stories like that where it's like there were people that saved the world before you, so there are other people, you know. Yeah, definitely. The world has seen champions. The world has seen champions before. It's just up to you to become their next champion, if you will.
Do you know what always blows my mind?
I mean, you don't have to.
Can we like go back to the pub for a pint?
I mean, it's up to you, man. If you want to do that.
So you know they always say like there's two types of writers. There's architects who plan everything, and the classic example is J.R.R. Tolkien. You know, who made like the entire sort of universe of Middle Earth and its entire history before even writing a book. You know what I mean? Like, and then you've got another type, which is like they're called like gardeners, where they just plant like a seed, and then as they write, it
happens.
grows and expands.
Mm-hmm.
George Martin is like a gardener. Like, he originally planned Game of Thrones to be a short story. And yet his story's like, everything's so interconnected and the whole world's so interwoven. It's ridiculous. I don't know how he didn't plan it.
And runs with it.
I have no idea how he didn't plan any of it. Like, what on earth?
I definitely feel like I am more the gardener type, where it's like, okay, I have this backdrop for you, and there is stuff that I've planned for, but if I'm like writing, and because I was writing that session, like that part that you guys didn't really get to because of stuff that happened, and like halfway through, I was like, wait, what if I do that, but instead, shit just comes to me as I go. Like, I don't. Shit comes to me as I go, and especially with the nature of D&D being like you play one player does one thing and alters the entire course of things. Right?
I was gonna say in D&D you can't be too much of an architect because then you run into potentially railroading the players.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
I think there are places you can architect it and places you can't.
Yeah.
I like to architect my world. I like to know a lot of stuff about my world. I like to have like the political systems, the history of it, the year you're in. You know, even down to my map design, I don't like draw it out. When I do map design, I like to think, okay, here's an important city. Why is it here? What natural resources would be here when it was founded to make people stay here? If there's a city here, it makes logical sense for there to be one here and here and here. But obviously with story writing stuff, you can't do that. You have to let the players take it where they want to take it.
So like I'm in the same way. Like I tried to have my world be, you know, like what happened in the world pre D&D campaign, pre your party, you know, is set in stone, and that's what happened. And I'll still, like, to this day, I'll be like, oh, that would be adding shit to that as well, you know, to kind of make it a little more expansive.
You can never, like, it is a whole universe.
But when it comes to the story from here on out, that's all you. And I just, like, I give you guys a little bit of, like, shit, and I definitely, like, kind of world build. But now I world build around you, like, not world build. Now I write my story around you because, like, what do you guys? Because I had shit prepared for last session, and you guys pull that whole "we're gonna go back into the mines to save these people" shit out of your ass, and I'm like, okay, well that's cool. And now that happened, you saved 3 NPCs that could potentially come back at one point and in a time of need, right? So.
But are they cute though?
I mean, the 2 half-elves are female, so.
I mean, yeah, female doesn't mean they're cute.
I mean, half-elves tend to be pretty attractive for both humans and elves because there's that little bit of, like, going on.
Exotic.
Like I said at the end of last session, at some point, like, I'd love to be part of, like, a campaign using the Game of Thrones roleplay system.
I have to
it
check
has
that out.
Some, like, super fucking cool, unique mechanics. Like, say you actually, like, you and the other party members build like a house together in that world, and you actually like roll for like how much land your house has, how rich it is, how many natural resources it has access to and stuff, and then you can like develop them over time and stuff like that. Like your house actually like, grows and stuff as the campaign progresses.
That's sick, dude.
It fucking sounds
That's
so
really cool. That sounds really dope. Yeah.
Is there anything we haven't covered?
Sorry?
Is there anything we haven't covered?
As opposed to, like, when it comes to last episode, I think we've gone over most of it. Like, there's a lot of shit that you guys haven't done yet. It's gonna have that prepared, but we'll get to that next episode, so I don't want to, like, talk about that too much.
There's a lot of personal stuff going on for Brand, but also part of me wants to talk about it and part of me doesn't, because I'm sure it'll come out at some point.
There's a couple of, like, when you guys eventually get to that, like, base that kind of got created for you, or, like, got you guys have now permission to have to use. When I designed that place, I was like, I mean, like, I started describing it to you, where it's like, it's a house, and there's a well in the garden, and you can use the well to go down there. I was like, wait. And then I sort of accidentally kind of half ripped the Dark Brotherhood, their sanctuary, from Oblivion. Design-wise, and I was like, might as well roll with it now, you know, like, fuck it, dude. So yeah,
there are no mistakes, only.
Yeah, like I was describing that to you, and I was like, wait, where have I heard this before? I swear. And I looked at it, I was like, wait,
it happens. There's nothing wrong with taking inspiration from things, and there's nothing wrong with also be referencing things.
Yeah, definitely, because they're like places that I've named. For instance, if you look on the map, there's one little bit of a Lord of the Rings reference going on Thermogar. You know, that city that's like a Helm's Deep, where the capital city, is completely surrounded by mountains, and there's only one, like, you know, Dolbadir, yeah. That's kind of, I kind of went Helm's Deep for that one,
and the Lone Peak, which is, you know, similar to the.
That's accidental. I
mean, yeah, but it's nice to throw those in.
The design for the Frozen Wastes really came from World of Warcraft, where there's an ice crown. There's this big ice lake that has like a dragon skeleton under it. A dragon.
Welcome to the Geek Squad.
Mr. Plus, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. Thanks for hitting the follow button. Hope you're having a great day.
About how the Lich King expansion had the best cinematic of any expansion.
Everything about the Lich King expansion in World of Warcraft was the best, because it's the best expansion they've had so far.
Crusade and Lich King were the ones that I played as a kid, so.
Well, what do we have here? A safe house? Yep, you do.
And although Cataclysm wasn't the best expansion, its cutscene was fucking epic.
The first time you booted it up, oh.
But all the World of Warcraft cinematics are fucking amazing, dude. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, but some are better than others. Like the Pandaria one is just so, like...
it's like slapstick comedy, nothing really dramatic.
It's because it's Kung Fu Panda. Like, they deny it, but it's Kung Fu Panda.
It doesn't have the epic action of the Deathwing one.
I mean,
and it doesn't have, like, the lore and story of, like, the Lich King.
But even the in-game cinematics have been getting a lot better, because I've been playing through, like, the Battle for Azeroth raids now, and, like, following that storyline. And even the in-game cinematics are fucking dope, dude. It's fucking great. And... there's a couple of NPCs that you guys are going to meet in that sanctuary. We're going to get the return of one of my favorite NPCs I ever created. Happen soon. Y'all are back in his playground, and he's going to come say hi, you know?
Oh, Elevante.
I fucking love that guy, dude. Like, when I created him, I was like, yes, this is going to be a fun dude.
I love that, like, that was something that me and you spoke about before.
Yeah, I was writing that session, and I was like, hey, I need a name for a high elf gunslinger. Chat, go. And you named him, yeah, true.
And like, that was before either of us knew that I was gonna be in.
Yeah, and you know, you're gonna find some old acquaintances in that base as well. And the reason I created that sanctuary, if you will, was just I wanted to have a place where you guys could, you know, call home and have a place to stay without constantly having to roleplay innkeepers and shit, because that shit gets really annoying.
I think it's good as well because having a home base gives your players a grounding in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
And suddenly, like, you're not floating from city to city. You have somewhere that you call home. You care about it, and you're suddenly much more invested, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Not to mention, we can find somewhere to hang photos of other people we've killed.
Yes. No. Just the way I decided to give you guys a home. The only thing that I'm really annoyed by, low-key, is that there's not really been a name established for you guys yet. So I'm gonna get. It's just easy to call you guys something, right? Like, but like, I have something written like from an NPC, like the NPCs that you have met along the way, and the NPCs that like Archmage Brass Band pretty much has been piping you up as a group called the ... to like the people that he talked to about you guys and about this Roskilde thing. So yeah, there is a name that is being used to describe your party, but you guys just have not heard it yet. So that's gonna happen at some point.
Dickheads of Drakmir. See, the best thing about that as well is if we don't hear it and someone in the party like names the party, then you can be like, oh yeah, well that was what I named you guys all along. Smile.
XD. But it makes sense for, especially if you are now doing this thing where you're literally trying to save the world from this evil cult. Like the Archmage Brass Band kind of put you guys together, minus Naronk and Aberan. So he has been talking to his other archmages and has been in contact with the Empress, discussing this because it's something that requires the attention of the Empress, because this is literally something that can destroy the entire world as we know it. So they have been talking about the party and have like stamped you with a name just for the sake of, you know, being able to call you something, right? What's up, Dawson?
Called for pawns.
Yes, that's it. That's it. Exactly. Case closed. So there's a chance that one of the NPCs will be like, "Wait, are you guys them?" And you'll be like, "What?"
And we'll be like, "The fuck?"
Yeah, exactly.
The disposables.
Yeah, the
Only thing disposable about Bran is his income.
fact. But yeah, like we've covered 90 minutes pretty much. But yeah, like the TLDR. Last episode was wild. A lot of things, character development that happened that I didn't expect, but I'm happy it did because it, you know, it made your characters more. You know, it just evolves you guys as characters, and there's a lot of good shit to come. And next episode is gonna be great. With that said. This Sunday there won't be a Dungeon Select stream, guys.
Sunday.
But there will be a stream
Not this time.
There will be a stream on my channel during the time the Dungeon Select will typically occur, with most, if not all, people that are in Dungeon Select besides Laura. And we're gonna do just a fun little D&D talk about character creation and talk about the campaign as a whole. Just have everyone there. Think it's kind of Dungeon Discourse, but more of like a everyone is there, smile type thing, I guess.
So it's gonna be memey as shit then. If we're all
yes, it's gonna be very memey, but it's gonna be like good fun nonetheless. Any one of you have something to say before we sign this off? Any questions?
Character creation stuff. Do you know what the original sort of like idea I had with Tremaris was?
No.
Was I wanted him to be like holy, but like the holy classes that sort of exist in D&D are very like fightery. You got clerics who wear like chainmail, have a shield, have a mace, stand on the front lines and fight. You got paladins who wear even heavier armor, stand on the front lines and fight. But I had in my mind, I wanted to make like a priest more character. You know, wore robes. You know, use the staff. Like I didn't want him to be a frontline warrior, but I wanted him to use holy magic. And luckily, I sort of stumbled across, you know, the divine soul sorcerer, which is they're technically a sorcerer, but they they have access to the cleric spell list, and they get buffed up healing and stuff.
And
so
then
it ended up
you
being
decided
basically
to go warlock anyway. Omega lore.
I mean, there are actually homebrews out there for a Radiant Warlock, because I mean, nothing says that you can't go Warlock, but draw your powers from a good source. Like,
yeah,
it
but
is
that's
a
the thing
pact
about
you've made with an
that's the
instant.
thing about D&D, that even the shit that the book does say is up to your own interpretation. Yeah, like.
But yeah, you know what I mean. Like I wanted to be more like a priest than like, you know, sort of frontline warrior. So that's why I went with the Divine Soul Sorcerer, because it's a holy magic user, but wearing, you know, robes and with a staff.
Yeah, and it's dope and it makes sense. So, you know, like
It's like a wild, it's like a life cleric or like a sprinkle of druid, and it's quite cool.
And you're doing really well. Like, definitely, like, big up Hanzo, because your roleplay has been fucking insane, dude. You're playing Tremaris really well, and like, you don't hop to the forefront of it all like that often, but when you do it so well. It's nuts. It's honestly nuts.
That's sort of a bit of like me going into Tremaris is the quiet reserved, because like you'll all see it next to Sunday when there's a full group of people. Do not expect me to talk much.
But then I also think that fits very well with Tremaris as a character. He's always struck me as someone that doesn't talk very often, but when Tremaris talks, everyone listens. There's weight to his word. Whereas someone like Nicole, who, for real, I love as a character, but because he's a chatty person, sometimes maybe the other members of the party switch that off. But Tremaris, like, because Tremaris doesn't speak often, I find that as a player, if Tremaris has something to say, it's important.
Yeah. I feel that. I think that's been Dungeon Discourse for this. Thank you, Natty. We appreciate that compliment, dude. Like, yeah, like, I pour my heart and soul into this. I'm pretty sure my players do the same thing. We try to put up a great show every week, so to have the support of the community is insane. Like, I would have not have expected that there's literally people out there that are hyped to watch us play D&D every Sunday. Like, that's nuts.
People have learned D&D to understand more of
the
D&D campaign that you run.
Yeah, which is like, fucking mind-blowing to me. It's nuts, and it's fucking amazing, and you guys are great people. And hold on, because we're on this fucking journey together, guys, you and us. So I have so much shit planned, and if we end up, growing bigger and bigger, there's so much more shit that's gonna be possible. And fucking hey, dude, it's
I love Tramaris' artwork so much. God damn it!
It's so good, man.
I really like the style of it because I think it really
looks
character.
It looks like sort of it looks like it don't look digitally done. You know what I mean? Like it actually looks like a sketch almost. You know what I mean? Like it's got
I see what you mean. Yeah. Whereas in comparison to Gypsy's artwork, Abran, like the art style is completely different. It's very very animated, very straight up. This is animation instead of like yours, which is I'd almost say like
a painting,
like a water paint type shit. But then also the detail is fucking dope because you have your little map piece. Like, what the fuck is this? And
your little antlers on your.
You have the antlers of arrows like on your robes. Like the detail is fucking sick.
I love how when I got new robes, I got them dyed to look like my old robes.
You really did. Yeah, I forgot about
that.
The
one thing that I'd really love to do is to have the money to be able to get like a party drawing. Because as much as I love everyone's artwork, and I think that like everyone's artwork looks really good and gives a good idea of the character, it'd be really nice to have like one of everyone, where they're one, all in the same art style, and two, like properly interacting with one another.
And then there's just me in the background with like a hood over my head, like
fully 100%,
ominously watching over all of you.
Dutch, have you ever played Hand of Fate?
Yes, I have.
Yes, that's how I view Dutch in my head.
Sick game, dude. Love those games.
Hand of Fate. So
have you played the sequel?
Yeah.
I really like that one too, man.
I think I've nearly killed every boss in number 1.
Nice, yeah. Hand of Fate's great games.
I just love it's so unique. You know what I mean? So unique.
Is there a Hand of Fate board game?
Yeah, I think they did do that for some. Like, I think they may have had a Kickstarter.
If I can find this on Payday and get it, like, can we play that one week?
Yeah, Hand of Fate Ordeals is what it's called. 1 to 4 players.
1 to 4. Okay, so let's say we have a week where a few people can't make it for Dungeon Select. Bruh.
Play that.
Yeah.
Can we play that digitally though?
I mean, I'm sure we'll figure. Even if I have to set up a separate camera to show the table, I'll do that.
The adventure card game of life and death. Yeah. It's still. I don't think it's out yet. I think it's still being developed.
Do you know what else is being developed? Ice cream dice.
Man, that was a little cheesy.
Look, okay.
Like, what's
when
that?
When you're as sellout as I am, you've got to learn how to make the good segues.
What's that plug even for? Because like the campaign is done. There's
it's
nothing
already
you can do about it.
Yeah. It's not even a plug. It's just a hype man. Like.
Hand of Fate Ordeals raised a total of 490,000 Australian dollars out of the $30,000 goal. Yeah, that got funded.
Hey, Dutch.
Yeah.
How's Critical Role funding going? Because you're the expert on that.
Nutty. They got 2 new episodes of the Briarwood arc. They're trying to get their final stretch goal now, so complete that arc. It's nuts. It's fucking insane. Yeah, 7.7 million USD. Yeah. And their final stretch goal is 8.8, I think. Yeah, 8.8. So they need $1.1 million to complete that whole thing, which is wild. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching Dungeon Discourse. Once again, no Dungeon Select this weekend, but we will have like a replacement thing going on my channel. Because Laura sadly has work responsibilities, so she can't make it. And since we stream from her channel, and the story arc is also really Kasseran driven, so playing it without Laura doesn't make any sense. So yeah, we're taking a week break, but we'll be here this Sunday for a fun replacement stream, like a little Dungeon Select special, if you will.
The replacement bus service.
Yes, exactly. This has been the stream for the night as well, guys, because I have some shit that I want to do regarding Dungeon Select, but off stream. And we're gonna see if there's someone live for us to host, and then
there is a Drow Man that is live.
I'll see y'all tomorrow for Mass Effect, I guess, you know?